Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is Wednesday. Friday's training, free coaching. BYOQ. You bring the questions, I'll bring the answers. Jakey Bakey, learning the lessons of being a young man. Let's go, Mikey. Thanks for coming on. Friday's training, once again, free coaching for everyone. You bring the questions, I'll bring the answers. Remember, episode 3 of 2 Minute Drill. We're on Amazon. Check it out. Amazon Prime, easiest place to find it. And of course, on Friday nights on Bloomberg television. If you have Bloomberg on your cable, check it out. It's on Pluto. Bloomberg's on Pluto as well. And of course, Amazon Prime Video. Just Matt Clarkson is in the house. Let's get some questions rolling. Good morning. Team David Meltzer, let's tell people where they can find the exercises, guides, books, and register for training at david@dmeltzer.com. Let me just pin this up here real quick. Alrighty, advice for a D1 athlete on building their brand while in school. Yeah, well, the rules are changing, so you're allowed to build your brand while you're in school. So I would be working on finding your own frequency. Whether you're a starter, whether you're in a major sport, a major university, D1, D2, D3, you should be building your audience, your frequency of who you are, what you like to do, capturing, modifying, amplifying, perpetuating every day your journey, your experience, practicing what you want and how you want to use it, building that brand, building your community that if you're good enough will continue on, or if you have the desire will continue on. But no better time for everyone out there, especially a college athlete, to consistently, persistently pursue your potential, find your frequency, practice building your content, whatever that may be. I mean, one of my daughters does Amazon hauls, right? That's her frequency. She loves getting stuff on Amazon and trying it on and telling people where to find it, how to buy it. You know, it's like the Dr. Pimple Popper. Mine is to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. Everybody has their own frequency, and it'll evolve and develop over time. Here we go. How do you build/create financial freedom? Well, it takes time and money. Time and money is what builds financial freedom. So the better you get, the more efficient, effective, and statistically successful you are at what you do, the more free financially you'll be. The more money you have and the more time you have, the more financially free you will be. So focus in on, align supplementary and synergistic, your capabilities, skills, knowledge, and desire to align with getting more time and making more money. A lot of people who want to create side gigs or side hustles, they diminish their capacity by not being focused on where the money comes from. Remember Herb Brooks in the movie Miracle, the legs feed the lion. Make sure that you're feeding and strengthening those legs so you can have more money and more time for financial freedom. Here we go. If you were teaching a college class, what would it be called? Happiness class. That's it. Empowering people to be happy class, happiness class. There you go. That's it. What do you think of the inauguration today? I am just glad that we are coming together, healing our nation, peaceful transference of power so that we all can move together. I don't believe in anything that separates us. So I don't believe in anything that separates us. I believe in all that are there. Scott Donald is here. Thank you. Very cool. Let me grab him. About my class. This would be a required product in my class. Hey, Scott, how are you?
Hey, David. Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. I love the Happy wearable product. They were just asking me if I could teach a college class. There it is. If I could teach a college, my daughter uses it as well.
Awesome.
If I taught a college class, what would it be? I mean, it'd be a happiness class, and it'd be required to wear the Happy
Yes,
product. So it would
that's
be.
right.
I don't need a textbook. I could teach without a textbook. I spend your money on the Happy Band and change your frequency, change your life, raise your awareness, and
Absolutely.
increase your health. In fact, they were talking about the inauguration and the healing, and I said, I don't believe anything that separates us. So I like the inauguration. I like seeing both parties walking up the stairs. I like
Yep.
seeing all the people together. Look, I love people that have differences so we can appreciate those. In fact, your product to me helps to reconcile differences or competing factors within my own being. You got the mind, the body, and the soul that are all
Absolutely.
supposed to work in synergy, but sometimes we create this interference that the happy product helps to alleviate. The same
Yep.
thing works within the context of the mind with the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, and which lays to your DNA and your own true electronic field. So, for those that don't know, your premier product, the Happy Band, we're really getting to a calculated technology of how to be happy. So I was hoping that maybe you could give us a little bit of insight on, what it is that makes us happy and why the Happy Band works.
Yeah, here, let me throw this in the chat just for anybody who needs it. It's
Yeah, please.
happy.com. So it's
Yeah, because it's not spelled
H-A-P.
normal. It's
Yeah,
H-A-P-B-E-E. Yeah, check that out.
yeah. You're
And we
crazy
we did a
if you,
playbook together too, so
yeah,
they
yep.
can check us out.
So yeah, we couldn't get happy, the actual word, but the logo's a bee, if you can see that, right?
I tried to
So
buy happy.com. I'm not rich enough.
yeah, me neither. So we changed it. So hap bee. So if you can understand the spelling just like Google did back in the day, we're fine. But yeah, we threw a link in there for everybody. It's 80 bucks off for everyone right now on the discount. So yeah, this is huge. Getting control of your emotions and getting control of your feelings without having to turn to potentially harmful substances or pills or chemicals or concoctions of any kind, that is a huge win. And, we're just another tool in the toolbox, right? Meditation, good diet, good sleep, good exercise. These are all tools in your toolbox. Ours is just kind of like biohacking, bleeding edge to help you get there, to nudge you in the right direction. So yeah, I would say, I would agree 100% happiness. If people can learn what it means to be balanced, to be present, to have more energy throughout the day because you're not looping trauma and pain and anger and rage and fear, I think the world will be a much better place.
And we talk about the happy product making us feel or assisting us in feeling a certain way, right? Whether it's alert when we need to be alert, energized when we need to be energized, calm,
Yep.
relaxed when we need to be there, happy, which I like mine to be all the time,
Yep.
sleepy, which is really critical. I use mine because as you know, my tomorrow starts today. I have a 9 p.m. unwinding routine. So my tomorrow I cheat on the day. I start at 9 p.m. every night.
Yep.
And the happy product to me really helps me unwind. I don't even like the word sleepy because I'm not sleeping to me means unaware. I'm actually trying to increase my awareness when I'm in a subconscious or unconscious state. So my ego is out of my way.
Yep.
What is the process that allows that kind of transference to make us feel a certain way, or the process and why happy works?
Yeah. So I'll just give like the 30-second crazy story
Give
behind
the
this.
eighth
So
grade, give the eighth grade definition, not the one that you and I
yeah.
talk about behind closed doors.
Okay. So there's a ton of there's about 18 years of research behind this technology. About a dozen PhDs up in Seattle. I'm actually in Seattle this week up from Phoenix, but about a dozen PhDs, including the founder of Cialis, the inventor of Cialis. They had this crazy idea that said, what if certain molecules, cups of coffee, happy hour drinks, muscle relaxants, what if those compounds and those molecules had a frequency? What if they had a signal when they go into your body? Because everyone knows that a non-covalent bond, when it hits your cells, there's no actual chemical bond. It's just an exchange of electrons. So these guys said, well, what if you could actually replicate that? What if you could actually analyze these compounds and find a signal that when played back on the body, directly imitating one of those compounds, what if it could deliver a response to the body? And if that's possible, without having to digest anything, eat anything, metabolize anything, and then potentially have negative side effects, right? If you could do that, that's a game changer for mental health. It's a game changer for helping people become happier throughout the day, more balanced, more relaxed, more productive, better sleep. That's a major win. And so they set out back in 2003 to do this. And the only technology at the time was this naval technology that the Navy uses called magnetometers. And these magnetometers look like a propane tank. And they are the world's most powerful electromagnetic recording devices. Okay. Like 10.15 zeros of sensitivity. And that's what they use to eventually patent and come up with this process to get the signals that you're enjoying right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then what I also find is, with the click a button, you can pick and choose kind of what I consider even moreover than just automatically setting the frequency is I try to heighten my own consciousness so that I'm training myself to do it even without the
Exactly.
happy.
Yep.
Because one of the things I'm training right now, and I'm thinking about creating a training for people. I, years ago read that the mind can only focus in on one thing. And one of the superpowers that I've been known to have was people can't believe how effectively I multitask.
Mm.
And I could not reconcile multitasking with focus. If I could only focus on one thing, how could I do two or three or four things at the same time? That led me down the path, which happy is related to this, by the way. So please
Yep.
hang on, everyone. Led me down the path that my mind could go back and forth from two different things faster than even the speed of light if I trained it
Mm.
faster than the speed of light, because thought moves faster than the speed of light. So I can actually work within dimensions and times by utilizing. And I think the
Yep.
happy product allows us, because you're playing with a frequency that is of thought, right?
Yep.
These reactions create a thought, and whether your perception or thought comes first, it varies, determined upon what you and how you do things. But I believe that the happy product, the happy band, has helped me determine this refocus muscle and other muscles like my unwinding muscle. And I call them muscles. I know they're not muscles, but I call them muscles because I think people, if they realize, gosh, Dave, just like you practice, doing curls, and curls and you get stronger doing it. I
Yep.
believe focus is the same thing. Sleepiness or, unwinding is the same thing.
Yep.
Alert, energized, calm, relaxed. All of those are the exact same thing. How does that reaction or frequency, how does it intertwine with your thought and perception?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And let me just say this before you go on, because scientifically, you are exactly right. If you get inside your cells, you have DNA. That's it. And you get inside your DNA, you have atoms. And all that is energy. Protons, neutrons, and electrons. And they are firing. They're communicating a quadrillion times a second, faster than we could ever imagine. And all we are is energy, if you really get to the heart of who we are. And so the brain controls all of that energy throughout the body. And so all we're trying to do, you explained it very well. We're just trying to help you build those muscles and hack those muscles much quicker. And we do it by imitating certain compounds. Like let's take sleepy, right? It's just a sleep aid, right? Something that you would take to go to bed at night. But if we can give you 20 million data points with a signal without having to put anything in your body, what you're doing is you're training your mind and your pathways to be able to turn off and settle down and rest and be ready to rejuvenate while you sleep for the next day. If you can do that with several different types, I mean, we're working on diet right now. We're working on performance for couples. We're working on recovery from workouts, memory stuff, literally for memory. And the more we can build this technology, the more people that we can help train themselves to be able to call forth these feelings, call forth these states on command.
And the other cool thing before I let you go is that there's actually what you call a signal library. So that, as this library grows, like you said, you're working on the diet signal and,
Yep.
maybe focus signal someday, or some other ones. And then we can brand those things, the Meltzer signal for focus and multitasking. But your library is included. If you have one business model that includes a lifetime
Yep.
subscription to the signal library, and the other one is a lower cost that has a monthly subscription as well. Both you can apply with your discount to those two.
Yep. Yeah. And if you get in now, you're in for life at that level. We won't have the lifetime membership much longer,
Yeah.
most likely, just because we've had thousands of people. But the monthly always will stay the same, and you get new signals. Our goal here is to become sort of the Netflix of these sensations, helping you with dozens and dozens of different things on command throughout the day. You and your family, like you said, your daughter uses. So yeah, we want you guys to be able to have almost like Netflix, a family login to be able to utilize these signals when you need them. And then in addition, we don't just have this. This is sort of think of like the iPod ugly 2001, that Steve Jobs came out with. We have many other form factors in the works right now. In fact, we're working right now on a sleep topper for your bed.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to help you with blood flow, relaxing throughout the night. It'll throw you out of bed with alert, our energy signal to get you ready for the day. So it's like getting a perfect rest workout throughout the night. Your sleep fitness will be through the roof. And so other ways you could use the technology as we go. So we're really just joining, we've got 3,000 tribe members, kind of like you, build a tribe of people who really care about this way of life, and seeing this become the future to get people away from things that might hurt them, right? To get them to be more present in the moment.
Yeah, I love the idea of fitness, sleep fitness, energy fitness, alert fitness, calm fitness. You have warm ups to those, which is an unwinding routine, which those
Mm-hmm.
signal libraries assist with as well. Real quick, we know it's HAP,
Yeah.
HAPBEE.com. You're at the Scott Donnell on Instagram. Anywhere else people can find you or anything else you want to add before I let you go?
Yeah, I'll throw it one time in the chat. Get Happy is our Instagram handle as well. And so you can see all updates there and everything. I think it's /playbook, right? Is the thing
Yeah.
that we gave for everybody. Okay. So
Yeah, Last Playbook, and you
happy.com/playbook.
and I are on my playbook, one of my best guests. And if you want to really get some details and how this all works, obviously you are a great steward of my main mission in life to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. I just didn't know when I came up with this mission, there'd be technology so early to help me. So thank
Yeah,
you so much for assisting me and empowering others to empower others to provide those signals to happiness. Come back on again soon. Let's do more together, my friend.
absolutely. We need people like you out there, my friend. You are leading the way. And
And vice versa.
I'll build the tech in the background. You lead the charge. I love
I
it.
love it. You got it. I have no problem charging along with that mission in mind. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Take
David.
care.
Take care.
Awesome. Scott Donnell, the man, the happy product. Talk about I wake up, I get my notes, and I was like, oh yeah. Could there be any better way to start your day than talking about the happiness and happy HAPBEE. Check it out. You should get one. Get the lifetime access to the signal library. You'll be laughing at people like I am today about Peloton when I got in on that, and 24-hour fitness. You wouldn't believe my lifetime deal I have with those guys. I can't afford, even though I can't go to quit it because I'm locked in for life. Slingbox is another one I got in on early. Always get that lifetime access. It'll grow in its value. Awesome. Well, my friend Ivy is here. We're going to let her in. I saw her. Thank you very much, milady. Here we go. Everybody's pounding me that our friend is here. And motivation station. That's interesting. Hold on one second. There she is. I see ya. All right. The great Ivy Clear is here, the co-author of Epoca, The River of Sand, with my friend and yours. How are you, Kobe Bryant? Hi. How are you, Ivy? Can you hear me?
I'm good. How are you doing? Yes, I can now.
Great.
Oh, I can't hear you
Well,
anymore. Okay. Okay, now I can hear you. Okay.
Oh, good things our cars don't work like Instagram. We never get anywhere. What do you think?
Yeah.
That's why it's so great.
True.
Anyway, you yourself, co-authored with one of the greatest athletes, celebrities of all time, and human beings, with Kobe. You yourself being an athlete. I want to start off with allowing people to share in the experience. Been blessed to be around Kobe on the court, off the court, and when you're around a higher frequency, there's great lessons to learn. And I thought you could share with us first the lessons you learned in writing your book, The River Sand, and what really came about that surprised you when you were working with Kobe.
Well, writing The River of Sand was a completely different experience to writing the first book that he and I did together, which is called Epoca, The Tree of Ekroth. Obviously, he passed away in the middle of the process of River of Sand. He had just okayed the first draft, and we had some back and forth about some notes that he wanted to implement for the second draft. So it was actually a really difficult and traumatic experience to have to go back without him and to make sure the book was going to honor his legacy as opposed to like reaching forward into the future to create the series. It had to have a more sort of finite message. Working with Kobe was really extraordinary. I've done a lot of ghostwriting in my early writing career, And most of the time you meet with a client or a celebrity and they have the story they want to tell, and you go off and tell it, and they sort of make all these changes that are just to make themselves look better or whatever. It's sort of standard, like no one's life is as exciting as they think, and they're not equal collaborators. They sort of treat you like a scribe. But Kobe was really hands-on in a great way. He understood that I was going to do the writing and the words were going to come out of my head, but the story was going to be a joint process. And he never, and he was, he didn't like stuff that we came up with, and you'd work on it and then he'd change it. But he never just said, I don't like that, fix it. He said, I don't like that, and here's a great solution, which is really unusual, because most time when you collaborate with someone, they just say, okay, well, we don't like that character, go fix it. But rarely does a not creative, not writer or person come up with a solution. So he really understood that you can't tear something down without offering a solution, which was an extraordinary experience as a writer.
Yeah, one of the things I learned about Kobe as well, which I think is a theme throughout the Epica, for you, is kind of this extra mile. It seemed like to me, most celebrities, I ran a huge sports agency, were just happy putting their name to something. And you were lucky, if they, were available to even figure out, what to say in the forward. But moreover, when it came time to market the series, when you first came out, it was marketed worldwide. I remember working with the series in China and, doing interviews in China with the largest networks over there. And I was just blown away how involved, I was launching my third book at the same time. And I was just amazed that this was Kobe Bryant, and he was more involved, if not equally involved, with his book than I was in promoting it worldwide. What was it, for you, as compared to all the other people you've written with, that gave that engagement to everyone? At least they felt like they got that engagement from it. What was it about him that you think made him that way, regardless if it was on the court or off the court?
I mean, he didn't do anything by halves. And I think a lot of people didn't understand that. Before he started his own publishing company, Granity Studios, we had a contract with a Big Five publisher. And the editor of that imprint came, and we met in the office. And, she just thought that we didn't, like, we were cooking up ideas, and Kobe and I hadn't quite hit on the idea we liked. And she just kind of thought she was going to come in there and, say, well, it doesn't really matter, because she did a lot of celebrity stuff. It doesn't really matter what you do. Like, let's just get a story about some kids. And I was sitting there, I was like, oh my God, this is going to go really badly. And I kept looking at her thinking, you are reading this room so badly, lady. Like, it's going to be his idea, and you're not going to tell him what to do. And he left because he had to go do something with, he had a brief meeting about the body armor water, I think.
Yeah.
And, she was like, okay, well, how long are we going to be here? And I thought, oh, this is over. Like, I was like, you are never coming back in this office. I just had this. And then like a month later, he called me. He was like, yeah, what did you think about that? And I said, she has no idea that this is not your average celebrity collaboration. This is not a collaboration. This is your project. And he's like, yeah, I'm starting my own company. I don't want to deal with people like that anymore. And I thought, yeah, absolutely. She just did the thing that most people assume. Like, you put your name on it and so and so forth. But like, this is like, he would, he traveled a lot. He had weird hours. He had weird hours even when he wasn't traveling. He'd send like big missives in the middle of the night, like about characters. And he was writing material. I mean, not writing the book, but tons of backstory and pages and pages and pages of, notes and backstory and histories and gods and like religious stuff for the books. And I thought, okay, if you don't understand that this is his vision and you're going to take your time to get there, it's not going to work. So it wasn't just the extra mile. It was the whole shebang. Like, it was his project.
And the idea of good versus evil, really represented in the timing of it, and, his own beliefs all shared with you. Now, you yourself were a world-class athlete, and, taking that into consideration, how does that apply? A lot of people, especially with the pandemic, they have a book in them and they decided during the pandemic, it's their time to share their book. But as an athlete, and, I've spent a majority of my career around the world's greatest athletes as well, I found that it has that consistent component that's necessary to write a book, that a lot of people,
Absolutely.
you're right. And how have you applied as being a world champion yourself,
National champion,
national champion,
not
world
world,
competitor, world competitor.
Pan Am champion. But yeah,
Yeah, to me, that's a world champion. So
yeah, totally.
I'm an average Division III athlete. So I'm not even.
So it's funny. It's funny because a lot of people don't really think about the fact that the skills that you need to be a writer and the skills you need to be an athlete are fairly similar in terms of like self-determination and motivation. And like no one's going to get you up in the morning and put you on court. Like you're going to do that yourself. And you probably should train twice a day, even though I lived in Amsterdam when I was a professional athlete, which had a lot of challenges because Amsterdam's a super fun city and there's a lot to do. And when I look back at what I did when I was living there, I'm like, why didn't I travel like more for fun? I was like, oh, because I couldn't. I traveled for squash, which was the sport I played. And it's the same with writing. Like you stayed up too late the night before, you had a few too many drinks, you like watch TV, you want to like online shop or watch, you do something else. It's like you have to do it. And no one's gonna make you do that. And it's the same exact motivation that makes the best athletes better. Like, there's so many athletes who are great, but they just don't have that motivation. And there's so many writers who are like, someone will tell me, oh, he's a great writer. I'm like, yeah, but he didn't finish a book. And that's really the only thing that ultimately matters is finishing that project. Then you can make it good. And some writers are better than the others, just like Kobe Bryant's better at basketball than all people who trained as hard. You have to have that extra little oomph. But like, if you don't do it, you're not doing it. And like, that's something I learned from sports. Like I'm pretty hard on myself in terms of work. I'm like, I get my work done, and I learned that from squash. Like it's fun to go play the game, but you have to like do the dumb training of like court sprints and whatever it is, plyometrics and drills. It sucks, but that at the end of the day, it feels good when that day is over. And writing too. Like some days you don't want to do it, but it feels great when you got through, and you will beat yourself up when you don't do like the day you're like, oh well, I might as well go for lunch with my friends. Like no, you better not.
What's funny is I'm on my 8th book, but one of the things that I found really funny, because I got so excited when I finished or when you get that galley copy, but nowadays there's the, I get my galley copy, then all of a sudden the publisher, McGraw-Hill's calling me saying, oh, you got to do your audiobook. And I just have to tell you, that's like playing a consolation game. It's like, because it's so difficult, first of all, I mispronounced the word didn't like 60 million times, and I had to redo that and go back and find the sentence and edit it. But to me, that was like I kept telling my wife, she goes, why are you so frustrated? You finished your book. I said, yeah, but now I got to read the book. And there's two things. One, it's really difficult and it's not really that exciting. But worse, I've changed my mind on what I've written, right? Because as a writer, you always can change it and do a book. Well, I have a friend that's inventing Pictionary. I think it took him 8 years. I did like 4 books in the time that he did his one, because I'm like, you've written the book already. Just stop and write another one. Quit changing. You're redoing it. You're losing money and time. For you, now that you've had this extraordinary experience, you've had great success at what you're doing. How do you pick your next project?
Well, I have, I have my own writing career apart from Kobe. I was a published novelist before I met him. And I write sort of literary crime fiction. So, those ideas come slowly. It's a little different because they're not as, organized or plot driven, because they're not for kids. And there's like not a lot of room in kids' books to like divert from the plot. So, it's funny. I was talking to a friend on the phone the other day, and this is the first time in my life I haven't done 2 things at once. Like I've been working with Kobe for 5 years, or for 4 years. And before that, I would do other stuff while I wrote my literary fiction. And right now I'm not doing anything. And I was like, maybe I need to do 2 things at once, because I'm no longer competing in squash. I'm no longer playing squash because of this lockdown in LA, which is fine. But I need something else to do while I write, to make it sort of takes the pressure off my own writing. So I don't know what that secondary project's going to be, but right now I'm, well into my own book. So yeah, and the Kobe book, the River of Sands, we were working on it for a long time. So it's sort of pretty fresh. Like we only wrapped up on that in November. No, that can't be right. Only wrapped up on that in September. So it's a bit, technically I wouldn't have started a new one anyway. But yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do in terms of a side project. It's finally dawning on me that I need something, else. This is over. This book came out. It's weird. It was a realization I had last week.
Awesome. Well, people can find you at Lady Miss Ivy. Where else can they find you for the book?
The book is wherever books are sold, primarily Amazon, Walmart, Target, Costco, and Barnes and Noble. You can pre-order it. You can order it from your independent bookstore. They sometimes don't have it in stock. And you can find me at Ivy Pacoda on Facebook and Lady Miss Ivy on Instagram.
I love it, Ivy. Congratulations on all your success.
Thanks. Thank you,
Can't wait
David.
to read
Okay.
the other novels as well. You piqued my
They're
curiosity.
very different. Thanks so much.
I
Have
like
a great
different.
day.
Thank you, Ivy.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
There she is, at Lady Miss Ivy, the great Ivy Claire. What a great experience it must have been to write with Kobe Bryant, to get into his head and learn what he's about. All right, we are moving right along here. Let me find my friend, the next friend on the line. What a great guest lineup we have today. They're just loading me up. I don't see my friend here, Mix Master Super Rhyme Maker. Where are you, my friend? Huh. Give me another pop out there if you wouldn't mind. Baruch, I would love to have you, aka Mix. Give me, there he is. There we go. All right, that makes it easier. All right, here we go. Thank you for your patience, my friend. All right, the great Baruch Nimhart and Namehart coming on here. Looking for 5-time #1 Billboard Award winner, Sideways on my rapper. What's going on?
What's up, boss? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for joining me.
Nah, thanks for having me, man.
So give me a little bit of background, man. You know, you have had so many successes. And what I wanted to start with, what seems to me to be one of your superpowers, is you keep producing winners, but you get more and more humble as you get more and more famous and you have more and more successes. I think a lot of people in your industry could learn some great lessons from you, and entrepreneurs can learn some lessons, and me, about humility. You know, where does that humility come from?
Man, I think it naturally comes from like my personality, you know. And growing up as a kid, like I saw both parts of life. I saw like you know, success, and I saw poverty, you know. So seeing both and experiment both, like it just makes me feel like, all right, I know where to level myself, you know what I'm saying, stay level headed and keep pushing. And I learned from, you know, my elders too, like certain people who always seem to progress, you know what I'm saying, through most things. And like then I learned from people who like just get super egotistic and just start failing in life, you know what I'm saying? But really I think it comes from a natural personality.
Nice. You know, it's interesting because you've worked with the biggest names in music production, and yet you seem to still learn lessons. What are some of the bigger lessons that you've learned from some of the greats that you know? You just had Ivy on working with Kobe Bryant. Doesn't get any bigger than that. And then I start looking down your list of, you know, whether it's Drake or Kanye or Weekend, you know, then I'm like, wait a second, I guess it can get bigger than that. You know, what are the things that you've learned from, you know, I ran a big sports agency for years with the biggest names in sports and entertainment. I learned a ton of lessons. For you, what was it like working with the greatest in the world?
It was amazing, to tell you the truth. You know, I learn every day, man. Every day I go, I still learn, and I learn a lot of different skills. The hustle, the grind, good business. Um, so I learn a lot of skills that help me every day.
You know, I'm gonna ask you a question that probably a lot of people haven't ever asked you, so I hope it's okay. You know, I find a lot of great musicians channel. So I meditate, I channel things through me, right? I'm inspired by something much greater than I am, and I give credit. You know, I'll walk off the stage as I speak around the world, and someone's like, "Oh man, that was amazing! Give that speech at my company for me." And I'm like, I have no idea what I just said. You know, do you channel, you know, your beats, and do you channel, you know, your production? Is it coming through you, or do you think you create it yourself?
Nah, for sure I feel the channel, man. Sometimes I'm sitting in the studio making a beat or working on a song, and I just feel something open up and an idea hit. And sometimes you just gotta chill and be like, man, like you get producer, writer block, and then the idea just come and just feels like a channel for real sending the information. So, no, for sure, I know what you feel.
Right on. And do you have any ways, like I use meditation to find that channel? Are there any certain things that you do in order to kind of get into that mode, that frequency where you get more creative?
I usually meditate a few times, but not usually like in the studio or nothing like that. Just really on my own time. I think it just comes naturally.
And then, distractions are another thing that I think people don't realize, whether it's sports or entertainment. There's so many distractions, and the more successful you get, the more distractions that you have. And with entrepreneurs, especially, I'm amazed because it seems to me the ones that complain about, being focused and having all these distractions, whether it be a side hustle or their family or life, they have no idea what distractions are like compared to your life and the time that you spend in the studio and the things that go on. How do you best deal with staying focused?
Man, look, I done worked through the most distractions you could ever think of. Like, I mean, like, literally a party going on while creating music. And, man, I think for me, it's really the hunger. The hunger is like, even there's like 20 people in the studio, like, I really have to make a dope record right now. So it's just like the hunger and the focus, work through the distractions.
That's amazing. Yeah, when they opened the studio at the Palm in Las Vegas, Little John, who was a friend of mine, and I used to go up to the studio, and I'm like the master of focus and refocus. I train people on, being and staying present with consistent, persistent behavior. And I'm sitting in that studio just watching what's going on, going, how, and as you know, John is extremely talented producer, and but what really impressed me was how, with everything going on, I could see it on your face, with everything going on around him in Vegas at a studio, I was just amazed that he ever got that album out, and and it came out extremely well for you. Now, you partnered with a lot of people. You have Coke Boys, you have the Mixed Productions. On the business side, what's your biggest challenge? Because you're a great entrepreneur beyond being just a great artist.
Biggest challenge I would say, like, dealing with like these major companies, um, a lot of people in the music industry will know what I'm talking about. It's a lot of challenge, like dealing with the industry and just on a business level, back and forth. So you just gotta be on your heads and toes, man, like, to get business done.
Well, last question real quick, then I'll let you go. You have 5 #1 Billboard awards. I think you have 9 gold and 6 platinum plaques under your belt. Where do you put all that stuff?
Man, I'm still ordering plaques, man. I'm looking for a bigger house right now as we speak. I need a big wall for that because I'm trying to
Yeah,
get
you
one.
do. Interest rates are low. It's a good time to buy that big wall and that big house to go along with it. And make
Right?
sure you have a safe house, a quiet room that you can meditate in your next house, so that you can keep downloading all that amazing music and all those great beats that you download and provide for all of us and for some of the greatest artists along with you. So,
For
man,
sure.
congratulations. Please come on and join me. Where can people find you?
Man, find me in Mixed Production on Instagram. Same on Twitch. Sometimes I go on the new app Clubhouse, drop a few jewels on there. Find me on there as Mix MIXX.
Yeah.
And Twitter, Mix_production.
You got to remember, if you don't know and you're living in a hole, it's MIXX. I'd love to see you on Clubhouse sometime. That's my new, perfect for me. It's all audio. Let's make it happen, man. I love
Yeah,
to.
add me on Clubhouse. We're Mix, bro.
I will. We do them on. I do 2 shows Friday at 6 a.m. Pacific time. So jump on there. I got that hour. We'll get you on there and mix me up something good.
I got you, man.
All right. Thank you so much. Awesome. Byoq, great to see you again. All right. We'll turn the cameras back around. Hopefully I'm turning this the right way. Unbelievable. Great lineup today. Everybody, Friday's training is free coaching. Bring your own questions. I'll bring the answers. I want to thank my friend Byoq. Name Hard and AKA MIXX, right? You can find Mix everywhere, Mix Productions. It's all posted up there. Ivy, thank you so much in sharing your knowledge and experience, especially with Kobe. And then finally, Scott Donnell, one of my warriors of peace and happiness, with the gear, the helmet of happiness, the band of happiness. Awesome live today. Thank you, Jesus. I'm going to take one question real quickly, and then we're going to see you on Friday. Remember, pinned up there, david@dmeltzer.com if you want your exercises, guides, books for free. If you want my book signed, I'll send it to you, pay for shipping. david@dmeltzer.com. You can join my text community, 949-298-2905. How to pitch for crowdfund when no product yet. Very early idea stages. Well, I go to LaunchBoom and LaunchBoom University. LaunchBoom helps all of my companies from the ideation stage to the execution stage, building an audience, making it happen. Everybody, thank you, thank you, thank you. Go to LaunchBoom. Go ahead, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll make an introduction to them. Text me at 949-298-2905. Go join the inauguration. Everyone's leaving here. Enjoy yourself. Join me Friday. Free training, free coaching on Friday. Bring your questions, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. You can catch the playbook, all of Spotify, Entrepreneur, every platform. 2-minute drill on Amazon Prime Video and on Bloomberg Television. Most importantly, everybody, Clubhouse at David Meltzer everywhere else. David@dmeltzer. Anyway, be kind to your future self. Do good deeds. Enjoy the inauguration. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's heal this nation.